4th of July is in the house, but not Juneteenth. Welcome to Farmington. Good morning, Minneapolis. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Toussaint Morrison. I'm going to be your host of Good Morning Minneapolis today. It's brought to you by On-Site Public Media. The only way that we keep this running is by members. And so if you want to become a member, click the link below. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. In obvious news today, land of the free, home of the brave. Shocked to find out that not everybody was free at the same time. Exactly 32,491 days after the 4th of July came Juneteenth, and even then, not everybody was freed. We got so much to get to, so let's get to it. Have you ever waited until the night before the paper was due to actually write the paper? Well, you're not alone. So did the House. Last week, on Tuesday night, the House went into a late-night special session waiting to pass several bills, some of them being on police accountability, and it went into Wednesday morning. Many people awaited for these police accountability bills to be passed, one of which was whom? Jonathan McClellan. Yes, Jonathan McClellan, the president of the Minnesota Justice Coalition, an organization that drafts and advances legislation at the Capitol. Jonathan, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. So the House last Tuesday went deep into the night and into Wednesday morning just to do their job and get some of these bills passed. What the hell happened?
What happened is that the people got the short end of the stick through a bunch of wrangling, and I honestly believe that this was something that was already pre-decided. It wasn't organic in the making. We asked for police accountability legislation, and we got none.
Jonathan, tell me, were there some bills passed that are going to do more harm than good?
Yes, there's an anti-doxing bill that makes it illegal for people to post information if someone is hiding behind a profile, or if there's information that someone wants to get out there on somebody, they can't do that. In addition to that, there was another bill that was passed that makes it a felony, and so basically if somebody, one of those bystanders who were at George Floyd Square would have pushed Derek Chauvin off of George Floyd, they could face a mandatory 10 years to 25 years in prison.
What were some of the accountability measures that you wanted to see pass?
Some of the big accountability measures that we wanted to see pass were removing the statute of limitations on wrongful death, and allowing the families to view the body camera footage within 48 hours, police liability insurance, qualified immunity, and ending police-only responses to mental health calls.
So Jonathan, I'm going to ask the question everybody's asking right now that's watching this. What is the next step? How can people get involved in this process going forward?
The next step is going to be the political one. We need to hold these politicians accountable. We need to engage in this political process. Right now, we're entering an election year, and we have to use that. Politicians are going to come to your house asking for votes. They're going to load up your mailbox with flyers and talking about all these great things that they want to do, and we need to hold them accountable and ask them if they support these legislative measures and what their plan is. And the individuals who are in there that did not support these bills, we need to get them out of office so we can get these legislation passed. We do have an opportunity because the legislation that we proposed this session is alive for 2 years. This year was a budget year. Next year is a policy year. So we will have to work on the Senate. So I think there's going to be a lot of focus on the Senate during this next political cycle, and that's where we need to make change.
Thank you, brother man. Appreciate your time and energy.
All right. Thank you.
It's also important to point out that it's not just the GOP that's holding up some of these police accountability bills in the House. It's also the DFL. Shocker. We here at On-Site Public Media are nonpartisan. However, we do believe that Black Lives Matter, and we will say that to your face, unlike many other media companies out there. But some people believe that saying Black Lives Matter is a political statement. You don't think so? Well, take it from a few white people in Lakeville, Minnesota. Newsweek writes, 9-year-old student in Minneapolis was seen berating her school board in a viral video for images of Black Lives Matter and Amanda Gorman posted on the walls of the school after she was told political posters were not allowed. She spoke at the Lakeville area school board meeting in Lakeville, Minnesota, just 30 minutes outside of the city where George Floyd was killed over a year ago. I was walking down the hallway at Lakeview Elementary School to give a teacher a retiring gift, she said at the meeting on June 8th. I looked up onto the wall and saw a BLM poster and an Amanda Gorman poster. She added, in case you don't know who that chick is, she's some girl who did a poem at Biden's so-called inauguration. Now, I'm not going to touch this inauguration thing, but did she just refer to Amanda Gorman, the first National Youth Poet Laureate, as some chick? Newsweek continues. Quote, I was so mad, the 9-year-old student said. I was told 2 weeks ago at this very meeting spot, no politics in school. I believed what you said at this meeting. Okay, so let's recap. 9-year-old white student is berating the school board for putting up Black Lives Matter posters, saying that they're political and showing disdain for Amanda Gorman, the first National Youth Poet Laureate in the country, as some chick. Oh, you're talking about the same schools that said that Christopher Columbus discovered America, the same schools that want you to celebrate old dead white men who were slave masters and tried to attempt genocide. Okay. So, just when you thought that Lakeville was deprived of humanity, in came Amy.
Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. I can keep saying this for the rest of my time. I want to thank you for your equity efforts. Please do not back off of this. It is the right thing to do. Black Americans are the only people in our country who are taken here against their will. That is a fact. Oh, do you disagree?
Please.
That Black Americans are taken here?
Please be respectful.
I'm asking her. I'm asking her her opinion.
Not many people from Lakeville are invited to the barbecue, but Amy is. Just please don't put any raisins in the potato salad. Just leave raisins out of everything, okay? Thank you. September 20th, 2020, Lakeville schools were told to take down Black Lives Matter posters. April 13th, 2021 was when they were told to put them back up, or were allowed to put them back up. They even gave Black Lives Matter posters out to teachers. It's important to point out that April 13th was 2 days after Daunte Wright, a black man, was shot and killed by law enforcement in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, because context matters. Gee, it would be great if it didn't take a black man being murdered by law enforcement for you to address white supremacy and racial justice, because my black skin isn't political. Anywho, look who's coming to dinner. Not Juneteenth. Welcome to Farmington, Minnesota.
We did converse about Juneteenth, and it was 3-2. There's things that, now that may be highly personable to someone or deeply impactful to someone. It's going to resonate a little bit differently. And for that, I apologize. We didn't have a majority that agreed to adopt it.
This is the mayor of Farmington, Joshua Hoyt, apologizing for Juneteenth not being recognized as an official holiday in Farmington, Minnesota, which was voted out by a narrow vote of 3-2. Oh, Josh didn't stop there.
I'm willing to sit down and have the conversation. You can shake your head, but I do. You and I met via Zoom, and I've met with several other residents. I've had those conversations because they are difficult.
Yes, Joshua, it's tough to have conversations about Juneteenth with other white people. It's an extremely complicated holiday where black people, we celebrate our independence. Oh, goodness, I'm just exhausted putting words to it, Josh. I can't imagine how tough it is for you to break news to your white constituents that not everybody had independence at the same time. Whew. You know, Josh sounds like the white CEO of any company that just did a really racist thing. You know what? We're sorry. I want to be part of the conversation. I want to be part of the dialogue. We got to do better. We got to do better. And I am now the proud owner of 2 Black Excellence t-shirts.
Right? Martin Luther King said, I live for one day where a man will be judged by his character, not the skin of his color.
You know, I long for the day when white elected officials quote Malcolm X or Marcus Garvey. I don't mean to be like, the MLK quote gatekeeper, but do you have any other quotes from Martin Luther King? Like, there are many others. Lots of them. I digress. Yes, it does matter, Josh. Race does matter in this country, and that's the whole point of Juneteenth. It's black people, us celebrating our independence because we didn't have it at the same time as people that look like you. But let us not judge our fellow neighbor by the color of their skin. Rather, let's just judge them by the content of their tweets. Let's look at what Josh has tweeted recently. Kaepernick, I was a critic of yours when you kneeled during the national anthem. As a veteran, I believed you were disrespecting the flag. I now understand why you did it, and I support you. I'll kneel with you anytime. Hashtag George Floyd. Hashtag All Lives Matter. Hashtag I Can't Breathe. Hashtag racism. Okay, sounds like baby's making baby steps. Maybe read a Robin DiAngelo book or two, who knows? Not yet Ta-Nehisi Coates, but we're on Robin DiAngelo. All right, we're getting there, hopefully, maybe. Let's look at some more tweets from Josh. Pioneer Press tweets, Dante Wright, doting dad, basketball player, slain by police. Josh replied, slain? Really? Because you know the intentions of the officer. Do better. This is reckless, inciting, and borderline libel. Yo, Josh, hello? You still there? Josh? Josh? No, he's gone. This doesn't sound like the guy that actually voted for Juneteenth to be a holiday in Farmington. This sounds more like the guy that said, I get it, but they already have a whole month. That'll do it for us today here at Onsite Public Media's Good Morning Minneapolis. Thank you so much for tuning in. To become a member and support programs like these and other stuff that we do, go to the link below. And also today, we are supporting Circile of Discipline. Yes, the black-owned business that we're supporting today is Circile of Discipline. Circile of Discipline provides youth and young adults with alternative programs and enrichment activities that address their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual needs. Circile of Discipline is also one of the few black-owned gyms in town and is home to welterweight champion Jamal Shango James. So get down to Circile of Discipline or click one of the links below to financially support Circile of Discipline. It has changed the lives of so many black youth and youth in Minneapolis alone. Support that place. They are awesome and they do great work. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. That'll about do it for us here at Onsite Public Media's Good Morning Minneapolis. Hey, and remember, our work is never, ever, ever, ever done. Later.